So a lot of people keep asking me, how do you stay so skinny while eating so much pasta? And the truth is, I'm losing that battle. So I just joined the gym. I have to sort of figure out ways to eat lighter and healthier in between episodes on the show, because I feel like part of the job requirement for me is to have a non-restrictive diet. So for me, that means balance and moderation and portion control and stuff like that. So I eat whatever I want, but I listen to my body. And when my body says you're kind of eating too much crap, eat a salad, then usually I want something really healthy, and my body is telling me that. So today we're gonna make a salad that I usually have on hand, and it sort of builds off of one of the staple items that I said I like to keep in the fridge at all times, kale. In particular, this Tuscan kale. It's also called lacinato kale. You might see it as dinosaur kale, but you know what it looks like. And what's nice about this is that it's a little less bitter than the curly kale. It's a little sweeter. It's got some great kind of earthy flavor to it. And if we cut this up thin and use it in a salad, it's gonna be great. But one trick we need to do is to kind of tenderize it a little bit with our hand. It tenderizes it, it makes it soft just like any other lettuce, and you can almost let a vinaigrette sit on this lettuce longer, almost like a coleslaw, and it won't really like wilt or degrade like a normal lettuce would. And that's why I like holding on to this kind of kale and making salads with it. But today we're gonna show you how to turn this into something truly delicious. It's one of my favorite salads. It's quick, it's raw, it's easy. It's made with carrot and apple, which are both sweet. They have crunchy textures, juicy. One is a little harder. Those are gonna help balance out that slight bitterness of the kale. We have a little bit of Parmesan that I have that's always grated. I always have my Parmesan in one of these things now. Sprinkle a little cheese on top. We're gonna use some real balsamic vinegar of Modena. This is the stuff I keep talking to you about. You wanna always look for the European seal right there. And right here, this brand is the one you wanna look for if you could see it. Usually we make vinaigrettes on this show, but like using such quality ingredients, just a little bit of this is gonna go a long way. We've got some really nice finishing olive oil. This is a new one I just got, because I'm running low on my old one, so I wanted to try this. And just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, and the sweetness and the textures of everything else. You can kind of get crazy and add to it. So I'm just gonna kind of show you how I make this salad. So let's just get right into it. First thing I can already see is this kale is dirty. So I wanna wash that out. So first thing you wanna do, and you don't have to do this, but some people might not like the stem, you can just kind of take them out very easily. Just sort of rip the leaves off. Try and keep them kind of whole, because we're gonna cut them into nice little strips later. Now to be honest, I literally never do this, but I just wanted to show you. I'll just kind of eat the stem. It's totally edible, but I know some people might not be into that. You can just take it down. And that's another way to do it right there. Gonna add this back in. We're gonna start to rinse this out with really cold water and just clean it. The kale kind of picks up a lot of whatever was sprayed on it whenever it was grown, even if organic, whatever. So it's always good to just kind of clean it really well. And sometimes there's even critters in there. So it's perfectly fine. Just make sure you wash it really well. So now we got some of the other ingredients. And again, this is really basic. I know it's gonna look really simple, but the flavors are gonna come together so well, you have to trust me. So I've just got a few little carrots, and I'm just gonna maybe keep the thin sides whole, and I'll cut the thicker side in half and then just slice really thin half moons. I'm looking for thin slices that will add some nice texture and crunch, but won't be too kind of intense to bite into in the salad. So I'm gonna cut till about halfway on all of them. Now with this apple, we want to create little short sticks almost of apple. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to slice away from the edge, working our way towards the core of the apple, and then we can easily make thin slices that way. So just follow along here. Again, these are Fuji apples. Perfect, crisp sweetness. Gonna go great. Those carrots, also sweet, have a little different flavor, adds a little bit something different. Also adds crunch. Crunch is important in satisfying your kind of hunger cravings. I'm pretty sure crunch tells your brain you're eating something substantial and it helps you feel fuller faster. So, I don't know. So now I wanna drain my kale. I want to get that kale nice and dry so that vinegar and the oil is going to kind of adhere to it. I need to get myself a salad spinner so I don't have to kind of waste the paper towel, but this is what I do when I don't have one. Spread it out and then put a towel over it and then I roll it up. And I'll just kind of let that dry for a minute and then we'll slice it up and we'll start to prepare the salad. That's really easy. I can already see this towel is absorbing a lot of that moisture. Now just start to take the kale, the long pieces, and try and get them into a bit of a stack. And then just like a big bunch, basil or something, you're gonna just like chiffonade the kale. Keep it tightly bunched and it'll make it easier to cut. And then just readjust if you ever need to. Get a new handle on the new bunch as it gets cut, and then continue to mow through it. Get it into a bowl, finish chopping the rest. Now we've got our kale, and this is gonna be the stage that we sort of tenderize it. So I got a little bit of sea salt here, and I'm gonna season the kale, just a pinch. I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna squeeze the kale. As soon as you do that, you can already smell the kale sort of break down, become aromatic. And so you're breaking down the kale, you're seasoning it, you're tenderizing it, and it already looks kind of bright green. You can see it's already like tenderized a bit. Seasoned, it's ready for everything else to go in now. So now we've got our apple and carrot mixture, that's gonna go in. So now I'm gonna go in with the balsamic vinegar. And just sort of massage that vinegar into the kale. Make sure all the kale has a little bit of that vinegar on it. A little bit of the good olive oil. Then a little bit of Parmesan, and then we're gonna finish it with a little black pepper for a little spice. We're gonna plate it, and then we might add a little bit of aged balsamic. This is a little bit thicker and a more aged balsamic. This is more of like a regular all-purpose balsamic. So we might finish it with that, a little black pepper, Parmesan cheese, and that's it. Add a touch of olive oil at the end. There's something about the cheese being grated like that. It sort of engulfs every piece of kale and seasons it. And you have the sweetness of these vegetables matched with the sweet acidity of the balsamic. I know it looks like nothing. It's boring to you maybe, but I can taste every individual element and each one is very high quality. So I don't need a vinaigrette, I don't need to add honey, I don't need any mustard, which is weird for me. But I'm eating simpler these days, and this salad is just my go-to. When I'm hungry and starving, I can throw this together in 5 minutes. I always have this stuff, and I feel so good about eating it. And the thing that makes eating vegetables satisfying is that crunch. And the kale is a little chewy. So like this bite right here, it feels sort of like eating a steak because you're working as hard to eat it. And that's what I like about it. All those contrasting textures make it interesting, and that's sort of what makes this salad fun to eat and really delicious. I just can't stop eating it. Now, of course, this is a base. If you don't have kale, you have a different lettuce, feel free to use that. Just, you don't need to massage it, and just be careful of it wilting and dressing it too early. Or if you've got a piece of chicken, feel free to grill that up and throw that in there. Or you have more vegetables. Do you have a citrus maybe would work really nice in there. Some chopped nuts would be nice. Pickled red onions, just kind of let it go crazy and start to build the flavors that you like. This is as perfect as a salad can get with things that you have in your house already. So this is one of those things where if you think you don't like a kale salad, this is gonna change your mind. That is a sleeper you need to get on, I'm telling you. You think it's boring, but I don't make boring salads. You gotta get on that. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to all my patrons scrolling up on the screen. Thanks to everybody who watches. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Welcome. Hope you enjoy what you find here. So that's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.